Hey everybody, and welcome to the Unconventional Attorney Podcast. I'm your host, Christopher Small, and I am the Unconventional Attorney. What is up, everybody? Hopefully having a great day, great week, great month. It is the first day of August, and we're getting into vacation season. The weather is nice. Everyone wants to hang out and chill, and that's not even what this episode is about. But try not to do that, okay? And while we're here at the very beginning, I want to remind you that if you are not getting my weekly unconventional newsletter, you are missing out. Okay, it comes out every Sunday, and I do 3 things every week, the same 3 things every week. First, I break down something I'm talking about, something I'm thinking about. It could be this August thing. It could be how to have a vacation and still have a life. Actually, that's what I think I talked about that last week because I was on vacation. Who knows what it's going to be about? I have some ideas already for this week's newsletter. It just, whatever is happening in the week is what I'm talking about. That's the first thing. You want to be on there. The reason is, this is where I talk about some of the things that I don't talk about anywhere else. All right. And it's where I really dig into my firm and what's going on. The second thing I do is I give you a little bit of a breakdown, a little inside peek into the inner circle. So if you don't think the inner circle is right for you, that's fine. You can get a little sneak peek and see what we're talking about, get a feel for it, and learn some stuff for sure. And then, because every week, by the way, in the inner circle, I have this thing called the boardroom. It's just a live sort of training and Q&A where I just dive deep on a topic. The first week of the month is marketing and branding. Second week of the month is advertising. Third week of the month is sales. Fourth week of the month is productivity. Okay. If you are in the newsletter, then you're going to get a little bit of a something every week on one of those topics. And then the last thing I do is give you like 2 or 3 action items for the week to help propel you forward, to help move you forward. Usually they are some of the things that I'm working on for the week, but I guarantee you they will get you there. All right. So to subscribe to the newsletter is pretty simple. Just go to theunconventionalattorney.com/newsletter, and that'll do it. So theunconventionalattorney.com/newsletter. And I gotta apologize a little bit. I'm getting a cold, which sucks because it's August and you're not supposed to get colds right now. I haven't had a cold for a long time, but I woke up this morning with a sore throat. I can feel it like right in the back of my nose, basically. And so when I'm talking, it feels funny, and just gonna have to deal with that. But I digress. Today, what I wanted to talk about was something that has come up a few times, and it's something that can really set you apart and set your law firm apart, make you different, but it's really, really scary. And it's gonna force you to come to grips and think about your law firm, the way you practice, maybe even the way that legal services are provided in a different way. And what I'm really talking about, I guess, at the end of the day, is telling the truth. Okay, and that's probably going to be that's what the title of this is going to be. Let me make a note so I don't forget. Tell the truth. Okay, and that's really what we're talking about here. And this has been something that I have been preaching and pushing and doing for a long time, but it's so important, I think, to the way that you do business, to the way that your people perceive your business, to the way people perceive you. And there are 2 incidents, I guess, that I want to talk about. And let's just get into them before I forget. That sort of reiterate this point or demonstrate this point, I guess, because I haven't even said what the point is right now. But I was out to lunch on Tuesday with a guy. One of my buddies has a friend. This friend is in the commercial appraisal kind of business. Okay, he's a commercial valuation guy, not just an appraiser. He does tax stuff and P&Ls and I don't know, all kinds of stuff. He is thinking about leaving his company and starting his own company. And my buddy, whose name is John, wanted to bring this guy, whose name is Jason, over to sort of just chit chat and toss ideas around and get some feedback from me and get some of my thoughts. And of course I was like, let's do this, because that's what I love to do. And in the context of that conversation, he was talking about some of the things that he wanted to do differently. And as a part of this conversation, he had already brought up kind of making content and teaching and doing some things like that to sort of get some exposure, to create some brand, to create some goodwill, do those kind of things. And of course, I was all for that. And as we went through this conversation, he mentioned that there was a thing that his firm does that is literally like you just pump numbers into this thing and then it pumps out the answer. Okay, it's like very simple, very straightforward, and supposedly they charge like a decent amount of money to do this thing. And one of his things was going to be like to create a software that would do this, or to create just a flow, or literally just give them the worksheet or whatever so they could do it on their own. And what I told him was that needs to be like one of the first videos that you make, or definitely needs to be at least on the list of videos that you make, because that is how reputations are made. That's how businesses get known, is by exposing the truth, by telling the truth, by not hiding behind titles or fancy words or whatever else it is that it might, or your own ego, to sort of justify doing things that don't provide the value that you're claiming that they provide. And when you do that, it's very scary. And people in your industry are not going to like you necessarily, but that's okay. Who cares about those other people? They are not hiring you. They are not paying you, that's for sure. And they are not asking you to help them with their work. So forget them. And I told him that, and you could see a little bit of a hesitation in there. And the reason is because there's got to be some vulnerability there. You're going to have to acknowledge that something that you may have been doing for a long time is no longer going to be done in the same way, and at the same time may not have the value that you claimed that it had before, or that you believed that it had before. And by the way, if you're wondering how to do this, you can just tell everyone, I've been thinking about it and I changed my mind about my approach to this. It's that simple. People will just say, okay, that's cool. Now, the other example is that I came up with was, I was talking to somebody yesterday. It was a potential client that needed a probate, okay? And the reason they needed a probate was they had literally just gone to a different estate planning attorney, and after telling the estate planning attorney what was going on, including the fact that the person that they were creating the plan for was dying of a terminal illness, this person still created a testamentary trust, okay? Now, if you guys aren't in estate planning, you might not know what that means, but in this room, I'm going to tell you that the reason that happened was because that attorney was trying to build in some extra income on the back end to do a probate for the estate plan that they had just created. If you do it right, if you would create a trust outside of the will, which is a non-testamentary trust, then when this person would pass away, they would not need a probate. They would not need to go hire another attorney. The assets would transfer over, everything would be smooth, the transition would be clean, and that would be it. Now, that is a truth that needs to be exposed. That is something I'm going to talk about in one of my law firm videos, about why you don't want to have a testamentary trust, about why I don't do testamentary trusts, even if you want one. And that is going to ruffle some feathers. I know it will, because there are some people that believe they're great for whatever reason. And you need to be able to see these things in your practice area, in your law firm, in your business, in the way that your peers do business, and call them out. Tell the truth. When you do that, you are going to create a space where people trust you implicitly, because what you're saying is not in your best interest. And when that happens, people start to believe what you're saying, and that's a good thing. People start to trust you. They start to share your material, because the other thing is you're not just saying the same stupid cookie cutter stuff that everybody else is saying. Hey, have you been injured in an accident? Call me. I'm very aggressive. I'm very experienced. I've gotten a big award before, right? Great. You and every other PI law firm has as well. Now, I'll give you a third example. Something I talk about all the time. And all you estate planning attorneys that are listening to this, buckle up, because this is something I actually tell people when in my videos. It's something I tell people in person. It's something I tell people all the time. And when people come in and they ask me, what's so special about your will? Like, what's so special about your documents? I tell them nothing. I say nothing is really that special about my documents. They will work when you need them to work. You can probably print something out on the internet and it will also work when you need it to work. Okay? I tell them no, there's more. I say, but you are not paying me for the document that you're getting. You're paying me to make sure that what's inside of the document matches your goals and needs from a functional perspective, not from a legal perspective. You're paying me to say, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? Have you considered this potential consequence of your choices based on XYZ? Have you thought about doing this different approach because of XYZ? You're actually literally paying me for my expertise to help you build this plan. You're not paying me for the actual plan. It's like when you hire a plumber, you don't pay them really for the toilet. You're paying them to have the expertise to make sure that it works right when it's supposed to. And that's what you're paying an attorney for. That's also what I tell them. Look, you can go do this. You want to make sure it's done right because you can't undo it after you're dead. And that also kind of rubs people the wrong way. The other thing I say too, the other thing I tell people is like, look, this is not overly complicated stuff. There is some level of expertise that needs to go into this to make sure it's done correctly and to see the angles, but it's not rocket science. And I've done hundreds of estate plans now, and I can tell you, not very many people are coming to me now with new things I haven't heard before. It does happen, but not very often. And 99% of the people out there in the world are going to need probably a variation on one of 3 or 4 different types of estate plans. And that's it. What goes inside of them, how everything is treated may be different, right? Variations on the theme. But to pretend that just stop lying to yourself and stop lying to everybody else. Just be honest, okay? Just tell it how it is. That's the theme of this. And when you start to do that, you will eliminate all of that cognitive dissonance in your head. Sort of that difference between what you're saying and what you believe. People will come to you. They'll be more ready to hire you. The work will be better. The clients will be better. Everything will be better. And I just keep seeing this over and over and over again. People unwilling to say the things that need to be said because they're afraid of the backlash, or they're afraid of somebody rejecting them, or they're afraid of I don't know what, afraid of something. And just stop that. Okay, tell the truth. I think that's all I got. All right. Once again, if you are not getting the newsletter, you're an idiot. It's free. Sign up for it. Read a couple issues. If you don't like it, just unsubscribe. Okay? I'm not peppering you with a bunch of stuff. I don't have time for that. But this stuff I'm giving you is amazing. The reason here, by the way, this is the full truth about this too. The reason I do this stuff, the reason I create this podcast, the reason I have the inner circle, I do make a little bit of money, but I love this stuff. And I think I owe it to you and to myself to teach people how to do this stuff, because it does work. You can have a successful law firm and it can be great. But you have to take some personal responsibility for that as well. And that means saying and being okay with getting help. I'm a part of a couple groups of business owners, and I try to just listen to what they're saying and do it, and it works. Okay, so theunconventionalattorney.com/newsletter. Just go and check it out. Okay, don't be a punk. Don't be too big for your britches, or too cool, or whatever that thing is in your mind that you're thinking of right now. Don't be that person. Okay, that's it for me. My challenge to you is to today tell someone the truth. Oh, by the way, I'm not done yet. I'm not done. This goes back to another thing too. the billable hour. Okay? This is another thing that's ridiculous that we need to confront as all attorneys. The stupid freaking billable hour. Maybe I'll just do a separate podcast on this. I think I will. But don't lie to yourself and stop trying to find ways to pump the bill up on your clients. You know what it costs. You know how hard it's going to be. Set the fee. Take the fee. Do the work. It's not that hard. All right, that is it. I'm Christopher Small. I'm the Unconventional Attorney. Thank you so much for listening. If you have not subscribed to the podcast, subscribe, leave a review. You know, I give away some books every once in a while. Every 25 reviews, I pick a new person. They're good-ass books. Life-changing books. And subscribe to the newsletter. theunconventionalattorney.com/newsletter. All right, that is it. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.